Hey everybody, welcome back to our distance learning for the C major scale. I realize that I'm going to have to do this for like 4 different instruments, and so what I'm going to do is whenever I get to your instrument, I'm actually going to write it at the top of the screen there, so you don't have to sit through this entire video. You can scroll through and see when I'm talking to you. So this first question, for how many sharps and flats are there in the key signature, is the same for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. So the key signature is always right here between the clef and the time signature. Okay, so this area in between is where you're going to find your sharps and your flats. And you can see that in the C major scale, there aren't any. Okay, so for the first answer, there are 0 sharps and flats. Okay, so that answer is the same for every single person. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. You already have your first answer. Now tune in for what comes next here. Our first instrument I'm going to work with is violin. So I'm going to write that here at the top. And if you are not a violin, you might want to go through this video and just see where that first or that top word, that violin, changes to like viola or cello or bass or electric bass, so that you know when you can start watching, because this is probably going to be a long video. Okay, so I'm working with violins right now. So it says add the letter name for each note. Your first note is C. Alright, this is going to be kind of easy because we just work with our musical alphabet. We go C, we know that D comes next, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you know that there aren't any sharps or flats. We got that from number 1. So you don't have to add any sharps or flats. It's just the letter. Okay, now the next part, it says add the letter name for each note, or I'm sorry, add the finger numbers for each note. Remember low 2s. So here's something that we need to kind of like check out, because we are going to have some altered fingers. So that first note is a C. What I'm going to do is, let's see, get here to your violin chart. So you can see that that first C, let's look. It's right here. Oh, right here. On the on your finger chart. So that first note is going to be a 3. And from there, you just move on up. The next note is D. We don't have any 4s in our scales. We only use 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got 3. Open. You can see it right here. I don't want to mistake that for any kind of like low fingering. So I don't want to confuse anybody. So how are we going to do this? Let's do 3 for the star. Open 1, 2, 3. Open 1, 2. Now here's the thing. You have all natural notes. You don't have any sharps at all. So that might affect your finger numbers. So take a look at this 2 on the D string. Okay? If you look up here, to play an F on the D string, that's a low 2. Okay, so you're gonna, whenever you write your finger numbers in, we've got a low 2 on that one. Okay, and then coming across here, you can kind of like map it out. You can do open A, 1 for B, and here is C. It's another low 2. Okay, so this one is low. Alright, everything else should be normal. So let's go back to our assignment here. Again, it's violin still. And so we start on a 3, open, 1, low 2, 3, open, 1, low 2. Alright, I hope that helps violins. And then try the scale on your arm or on your instrument. Do you understand how to play it? I'm sure that you guys can figure that one out. Remember, for a low 2, your middle finger is just really close to your first finger. It's the white line between yellow and red if you're playing on an instrument. Alright, that's it for violins. You guys are done. Let's do violas next. So, I'm gonna write viola. Okay, so viola's turn. We're going to start with number 2. It says, add the letter names for each note. Your first note is C. So we start with C, and we go up in the musical alphabet. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you guys actually have 2 octaves of this scale. So you just keep going up. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Alright, so you don't have to worry about any kind of sharps or flats because we already found out in number 1 that we don't have any in the C scale. So don't worry about that. The next thing would be to add the finger numbers for each note. So we look at this first note right here. That's a C. We're going to find it on, whoops. We're going to find it on your chart over here. Is that viola? Sure is. Okay, so your viola, that first C is actually your open C. Okay, so you would write a 0. And then moving on up, we've got D, which is 1, E is 2, F is 3. Now here comes kind of a tricky part, because there's a couple of different ways you can play the next note. You can play it as 4 fingers on the C string, or you could play it as an open G. For scales, we don't like to use 4th fingers. We just go ahead and go up to the next open string right now. So don't worry about this. Okay? Instead, we're going to go open G, A, B, C. Okay? Same thing here. We don't play D with 4 fingers. We play open D, E, F, G, and then open A, B, C. Alright, now, the next thing we need to know is if we have any altered fingers. So, go up to the scale, or go up to your finger chart up here. We've got open C, D is 1, you can see right there, E, F, these are just regular numbers so far, everything's cool. And then G, A, it's all the same, B, C. Okay, D is open, E, and F is our first altered finger, because if you go straight down, you can see that it is a low 2. Okay, G is a 3, A is open, B is 1, and C is another low 2. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Alright, now we're going to go back to our original assignment here. Alright, so you've got your finger numbers. Let me do that one more time. Mark it up. I'm gonna erase this. So it should look like open 1, 2, 3, open 1, 2, 3. And then we start adding those low 2s. Whoop, 3, and then open 1, low 2. Alright, that's about it. Then you can try it on your instrument or arm it, and tell me if you understand how to play that. Okay, all done for violas. Now we're ready for cellos. Get this erased. Hello. Alright, cellos. The tutorial. Okay, so let's see. We already know from number 1 there are no sharps and no flats in the key of C. So we are just going to add the letter names for each note, and we don't have to worry about any kind of sharps or flats. So we start with C, because it's a C scale. We go C, D, E, F, G, back to A, B, C, and you guys can see that you have more notes because you have a C string on your instrument. So you can do 2 octaves of this scale. Alright, there's your letters. And now number 3 says add the finger numbers for each note, and remember low 2s. And for you, you know it's not an actual low 2, it's just a 2 instead of a 3. So let's go over here and see what that means for you. Alright, so I've got my finger chart. Alright, so, whoops, I can't really scroll up with this. Your first note is actually right here. You can't really see it very well because my menu is up, but that is your open C. Alright, we're just going to move on up with our notes. We've got 1 for D, 3 for E, 4 for F. Moving up to the G string, open 1, 2, or open 1, 3, 4, excuse me. And then your D string, open 1, 2, 4, and open 1, 2 on A. And I'll show you the difference between 2 and 3 up here on this chart. So we start with a C. Here's D, that's 1, you can see. E is 3, F is 4. And as we keep moving up, those finger numbers stay the same. And here is where it changes. We go from D to E, and then F is a 2. Okay, and G, A, B, and then C is that 2 also. Alright, so that's how you read the chart to figure out what your finger numbers are. You start at the very bottom, right here, and or the lowest note, whatever scale it is, and you just work your way up. Alright, so that's it for there. Now we just have to put our finger numbers in. So let's see. We'll get these letters out of the way so we can do that. Okay, and we've got open 1, 3, 4, open 1, 3, 4, open 1, 2, 4, open 1, 2. That's it for cellos. Go ahead and try it on your instrument if you have it. If you don't have your instrument, you can always arm it. You know that 2 is your middle finger, 3 is your ring finger. Should be easy enough for you to try. Alright, that's it for cellos. We're going to wipe you clean. And now it's time for bass. Alright, bass. So, number 1 told us that we have 0 sharps and 0 flats in the key signature. So our next job is to add the letter names for each note. We know that we start on C, and since there's no sharps or flats to worry about, we just add in the letters C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We don't have to do any sharps or flats, that's it. Okay, so we're all done. The next one says to add the finger numbers for each note, and remember low 2s. What that means for you is that you're going to have 2s instead of 4s. So we're going to try that out. The best way to show you how to do this is on our finger chart. So we're going to do done for now. Whoops. And I actually I've made a new finger chart for electric bass that looks a lot prettier than what you've been using before. So I'm going to go through this video twice. So if you're on electric bass, hang in there. I'm going to come back for you. But here we go. We've got upright bass. Our first note is C. And if you don't know what string it starts on, you can kind of look for it here on your chart. It's, oh, I guess I should mark this up so I can show you. There we go. So C lives right here. And you can see that it is a 2. Alright, so we've got 2 on the A string. Okay. Our next note is open D. 1 on D. And then 2, open G. A is 1 finger. B is here, and here's C. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. What I like to do is we've got open and then 1, and what I always have my kids do is shift. So here's a little line because we're going to shift, and we're going to put 1 here and 2. Hopefully you can read that. The only reason is, think of some alternatives. I'm going to do it here in red because this is the wrong way. Okay, so we would do open G, and then 1 on A, and then 4 on B, and then shift 4 to reach that next highest note. Okay, and the reason why this is bad is because you're shifting with the weakest finger on your hand, and so the tone's not going to be very good. It's not going to sound as strong. So instead, we want to shift with our first finger, our strong finger, and then just plop our middle finger down there for the last note. Okay, so we're going to go back, excuse me, we're going to go back to your assignment here, and I will, let's see, edit. I'm going to erase this so we have some room to put our numbers in. Okay, so we had a 2, open D, 1, 2, open G, 1, and then here's where the shift was. 1 and then 2. Okay, hope that helps you out. So basses are now done. You can arm this on your instrument, or if you're one of my ones that had a bass, go ahead and try it. See how you do. Okay. Electric bass, you are next. is very similar, just with a few differences. Okay, so your finger numbers are just a little bit different. I'll go ahead and write these letters in. You know, you've got no sharps, no flats. You may have already seen this from the other bass video. Okay. Now, in order to get the finger numbers, we're going to go over to our chart. Let's see, done for now. Here's our chart. Alright, so this new electric bass one is, I made it a little more pretty for you. So, over here, you may have been working with like an altered chart, an altered bass chart, and this is normally low 1, now it's just a 1, because that's the first fret. Okay, so all these numbers are actually your fret numbers. No, you don't have to like account for anything, you don't have to adjust, this is just how it is. Okay, so our first note is a C. Happens right here on the A string, and that is 4th fret. Let me see, did I do this wrong? 1. Shouldn't that be 4th? Oh no, it's right. Okay, sorry, I had to think about it. Alright, so here we go. This is 4th fret. No, that's wrong. Oh my gosh, guys. I should have started with 0. Oh no! Well, I promise I will fix it. Can't believe I did that. Okay. I knew this looked weird. I can't believe I got to the end of this video and then made this huge mess up. Okay, whatever. I will fix it, I promise. Okay, so this is a 3, not a 4. Alright, then we go to open D. 2nd fret for E. 3rd fret for F. Your next note is G. Here's A. B is 4. And C is 5. Oh my gosh. Alright, I will fix this chart. This will be fixed in your Schoology folder before I post it, I promise. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go back to your assignment and get those numbers on there for you. So let's get this out of the way so that you can see. Alright. So we've got 3, open, 2, 3, open, 2, 4, 5. Okay, I think I did that right. Hopefully you have your instrument with you that you can play through this. Tell me how you did. Alright, I think that's about it. Thanks guys for listening, and if you need any help, I'm always available on Schoology. Just let me know. Hope to see you soon.